Spurgeon here with RevZilla, and today we're going to take a look at the AGV Sport Sareno Jacket, available at RevZilla.com. So what we're seeing on my left-hand side is the new Sareno Jacket from AGV Sport, and something a little bit different from them. What they're doing is they're working a little bit more of a lifestyle, urban style feel into one of their textile pieces. Around the $200 price point, this is going to sit at the top of the food chain as far as any kind of a lifestyle look is concerned, because there's really nothing else out there that's going to kind of compare to what we're seeing with the Sareno from AGV Sport. Now, this is going to be your 2-3 season cold weather option, because you're going to notice, even though there's a mass amount of venting on this jacket, this is going to vent just to the waterproof Z-liner underneath. So it's going to have a Reissa waterproof Z-liner that will not allow any direct airflow to the body, but it will make sure that you stay nice and dry if you get caught in the rain. So really, it's that 2-3 season cold weather. You can stretch it into the warmer months depending on how warm your warmer climate actually gets. Sizing. Starting off with Brian on my left-hand side, he does stand at 6 foot. He weighs in at 195 pounds, has a 42-inch chest. We have him in a size large. It actually correlates perfectly with AGV Sport's size chart for this jacket, so no surprises there. Where you might run into a little bit of a surprise is with the color. You have two different colors to choose from. There's a sand, and then there's a stonewash. Brian is wearing the stonewash on my left-hand side, and really what you're seeing here is a distressed black. If you're looking at those product pictures, both the brown and the stonewash don't have that distressed look to them. It's almost like they took the product photos before the stonewashing process. So just keep in mind that with either of these jackets that you're choosing from, you're gonna have a distressed look that's kind of worn into this polyester shell. So just keep that in mind from a color standpoint. Now, as we talked about earlier, this is going to be around that $200 price point, and there's really nothing else in AGV Sport's size chart that's going to fall into this unique piece. It's a little bit more ADV meets lifestyle meets urban. For those of you out there that are looking for a commuting jacket, something that's going to keep you warm in the winter, there's that full sleeve thermal liner. You can pull that out. You do have the Z liner that's not removable. It's going to give you that waterproof protection, but this could be anything from a commuter jacket to something that you're using for touring, but you just want a different look to it. So the main body on this is going to be 100% polyester, so you get that abrasion resistance worked in here. You're getting armor that's going to give you CE protection in the elbows and the shoulders. And then as we start at the top and work our way through, a little bit of neoprene at the collar from a comfort standpoint, Velcro as far as your closure is concerned up top. And one of the things you'll note, there is going to be blacked out reflectivity that's going to be working across the top of the shoulders. I like the fact that they did blacked out reflectivity, especially with the stonewash color. It works very nicely to kind of hide itself in there. There's also going to be a ton of stretch baked into this jacket, so it's very comfortable from a standpoint of mobility. So if you find yourself moving around a lot, you're going to be able to be very comfortable with this jacket, maybe more of a full tuck, or maybe you're standing up on a more of a touring kind of a bent where you need to kind of stretch your legs. You're going to have stretch. It's going to work its way down the interior of the arm. You're going to have accordion stretch along the top of the shoulder. And then when we flip this around to the back, you're going to see stretch along the back as well. The other thing you'll note is you're going to have these magnetic adjusters. So where some of the other pieces we've seen done with snaps, the adjusters on this are going to be simply done with an actual magnet and a button system. Now the only problem here is if you're trying to get a really kind of a cinched down look, you can go ahead and you can see that this is going to be, secure until a point where it might become extreme. Now Brian's not filling out the arms in this too much, so he's not going to have to worry about, not that you have delicate arms, but you're just not quite, you're not juice level. But you're not going to have to worry about actually cinching this down and having that pop open unless you're running it to the point where it's extremely tight. That's the only time that we've really noticed the magnets becoming a problem with this particular piece. Velcro at the cuff on this, and then if we open this up, we kind of fold this back. One of the things you'll note as we kind of reach up underneath here is you do have that full sleeve thermal liner that is going to work its way all the way down to the cuff on this. But there's not any real easy way to get this in or out with the jacket on. So as far as the liner is concerned, that's something you want to actually install in the jacket before you go ahead and put it on, because there's no easy access to those mounting points once the jacket is actually on. Kind of Velcroing that back up, you can go ahead and set the leg down, or your leg down. You can set your arm down. As we work our way down the front, you'll notice that the air vents on the front of this are going to be done with that magnet as well. And even the magnets on this are going to be de-stressed. So if you get the jacket in the mail and you're looking at this and you're thinking, man, the chrome is worn off there, it's already banged up, It's because the same way that we talked about with the actual material on the jacket, the magnets and the chrome are going to be de-stressed as well. So if you see that, that is how it comes. If you're the kind of rider that likes your gear looking absolutely pristine and brand new, this is probably not going to be a jacket for you because of all that pre-distressing that we're seeing AGV Sport bake into the Sareno. As we work our way down, you do have the gusset that's going to cover the top of the zipper on this, making sure you're kind of keeping that water from pushing through. And you've got waterproof top-loading pockets on either side. And you're going to see that that's just going to be a Velcro closure, but they are lined pockets. So as long as you push that down, that is going to be a waterproof pocket. And then you're not going to have any kind of a hand warmer pocket behind there. So just keep that in mind. Those are your two main pockets on the front of the jacket. Brian, go ahead and face sideways, hit the hand in the rider position for me. So we talked about all that accordion stretch and flex. You're going to see more of that along the back of the shoulders as well as the back of the elbows for maximizing, your comfort level. You are going to have exhaust vents working down the side, the lateral side of each jacket. And again, like I said, with those entry vents in the front, this is just going to vent to the liner. So keep that in mind. It's really about pulling some of that perspiration or moisture off of that waterproof liner on the inside more than it is really about keeping you cool. The other thing you'll notice, you do have a waist adjuster, so you can fine tune how this fits, and you do have a little bit of elastication down at the base of this as well. Again, pops of blacked out reflectivity down there. Like we said earlier, the reflectivity really hides itself well, especially with that stonewash color. If you go with the sand option, the reflective stripes kind of just are a little bit more glaring in their nature. Brian, maybe you go ahead and face backwards for me. Starting with the top, working our way down. You are going to have neoprene at the collar on this. You are going to have a pop reflectivity working its way across the very top of the shoulder. And then you're also going to have very minimal branding with this jacket. So I haven't talked too much about that, but really you have the AGV Sport logo done very muted out in the back. They've done a good job of stepping away from massive AGV Sport logos all over this piece like we've seen with some of their other gear. So they're really taking more of a kind of just plain, muted down tones with what we're seeing from the Sareno with that lifestyle bent to it. The one thing to note here, as we've talked about with most AGV Sport jackets, it is just a back pattern here. So you want to go ahead and pull that out. You want to replace it with a full-on back protector before you use this on the motorcycle. Any Knox TP2 style back protector will go ahead and fit right in there. And then the final note, you do have a rabbit pouch on the bottom. So if you want to pull that thermal liner out, you have a place to store that while you're on the motorcycle. And if you begin to get cold, you can go ahead and put that liner back in. Brian, if you face forward, on Velcro for me, and then unzip. One of the things you'll note here is you do have that magnet at the top, Velcro working all the way down, and then magnet closure at the bottom as well. And then as we hold this open, you do have a zip to get that water or that thermal liner out. Horseshoe zip working its way across the top, and you are going to have snaps within each sleeve. And then if you're not using the liner, you're going to see that the entire jacket is going to be mesh lined. So even if you're just using a t-shirt the way high-vis Brian is, it's still going to be nice and comfortable against your skin. Brian, I'm going to have you go ahead and you can zip back up for me. So for those of you out there looking for something that's a little bit more urban inspired, maybe a little bit more of a commuter style, but you still want a jacket that's going to get you through the rigors of the colder months of the year, the rain, whatever you're going to throw at it, this is one to consider that's a little bit of a different style from what we've traditionally seen from AGV Sport. Now, if you want to hear more about what other riders out there have to say about the Sareno jacket that they're using on their rides, you can always click the info button on your desktop or mobile device, which is going to allow you to read other rider reviews from folks that are already out there putting the Sareno through its paces. If you have more questions for one of our gear geeks as to which jacket is right for you, your bike, your riding style, you can always give them a shout, 877-792-9455, or simply shoot over an email to cs@RevZilla.com. Thank you for joining us for this look at the AGV Sport Sareno jacket. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.